All right, I'm delighted to be joined by the Republic of Ireland manager, Stephen Kenny. How are you keeping?
Yeah, very well, Nathan, thank you.
Good. There's a lot of matches ongoing at the moment. Ordinarily, as Ireland manager, you'd be in England week on week, keeping an eye on your players. How are you managing at the moment?
Yeah, no, we're very busy and it's great. You know, obviously the new background team, Keith Andrews, Damien Duff, and Rory Higgins. You know, we've been able to completely analyse Bulgaria, their 8 qualifying matches. We've been able to absolutely sort of scrutinise their performances. They have a new manager, of course, and they've beaten the Czech Republic in since he's taken over. So we've been able to watch Finland and their campaign.
Yeah,
it's hard to believe. Pukki scored 10 goals for Finland, you know, in the campaign, which is amazing, really. And they've qualified for the Euros. We've managed to watch Wales, their 8 games. You know, we'd watch 2 games each, for example, and then present to each other. You know,
see if you're on the same.
Well, we
same
all
lines.
ask different questions all the time, and I think it's. We've watched Slovakia, very interesting games. Slovakia, contrasting games, and I think a very experienced, very settled team, and so we've been able to watch them. We've been able to, obviously, through Y Scout and Instat, you know, you're able to watch all of the games really in the UK and absolutely scrutinise them. So we're watching them all, and
you'll be the best prepared Irish management team there's ever been.
You know, we're the only team that's ever lived in Ireland, and that's a disadvantage at the moment. You know, obviously with COVID, but you know, we all live here. We're at the centre of the FAI. This is, you know, we're all hungry to do well, and I think we've been able to, like, every week there's 35 players you need to see, and their performances. Like, not all of them are playing, but we want to see as much as we can all of their performance, check on their current form, and analyse how they're doing.
And what about contact with your own players then? Because we've spoken to Matt Doherty and John Egan over the last few weeks. You said they had a Zoom call with you at one stage over the last few weeks. Are you in regular contact, or is it just so busy for them at the moment you wait till the end of the season?
No, I think I'm not in regular contact. You know, I think I'm. You know, we had good Zoom calls with all of the players, and you know, so we could articulate what I'd be looking for, and just to get to know them a bit better and understand their backgrounds a bit more. And I think, but there's a lot of players, and you know, I think I've been able to monitor all their progress, and I think we'll be meeting up shortly. You know, I think we won't see it going in now. You know, there's 8 games now between September, October, November. You won't see it flying in, and I think we're planning a course, how we're going to prepare and so forth. And
have you had to think about those communications on Zoom here? We have all had to get used to it, that you would have expected your first meetings would have been face to face, as to how you get across what your thought process is, what your hopes are for the next 3-6 months heading into next year, as how you get that across in the space of probably 15-20 minutes on a Zoom call.
Yeah, and I think we might revisit that closer once we name the squad. You know, an extended squad at the moment, and maybe when we, you know, in the week leading up to the camp in Bulgaria, because it's unusual. We come in on the Sunday. Some players could actually be playing on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And we fly on the Tuesday. So you actually only, you know, you have half a session on the Monday, depending on who's played on Sunday, and then train on Tuesday, and we're on the flight, and that's it. You know, we're getting ready in the stadium, and so that's the nature of it. But no, we'll have clear instruction. Everyone be, you know, obviously it's difficult with just a couple of days preparation, but no, we will we'll make our, you know, tactical plan, what we expect of the players, very clear, and we'll make sure that we're as well prepared as we can be. Between like the various analysis meetings that you have, whether we do some of them on Zoom once we name the squad as possible, and whether, you know, coming in on the Sunday, between Sunday and Monday, before the game tours, everyone will have a clear idea of what we're looking for.
How long before you expect to see that tactical plan properly implemented on the pitch, because expectations, as you know, are very high, and some of us have been guilty, more so than others, and there's probably an expectation among some people this will be a mix of Brazil 1970 and Barcelona under Pep Guardiola that we're going to see within the first couple of matches. Are you happy for expectations to be high? Do you think people need to tone it down?
It's irrelevant. I don't really mind either way. I think I'm comfortable, and I think listen, the main thing for us is we've got 8 games coming up, but to qualify for the European Championships in Ireland would be incredibly special, and we've never known that as a nation, to have the European Championships, have a major tournament in our capital city, like, be really, really special. And in order to, we haven't qualified out of the group. We're in the playoff because we're in Group B in the Nations League. We haven't qualified, so we've got to do it the hard way now. We've got to go beat Slovakia away, and then the winners of Bosnia and Northern Ireland away. So we've got to win 2 consecutive away games, which we haven't done. I don't know when the last time we beat 2 significant nations away from home back to back. So it's a big challenge, but it's one that we're well capable of winning. We've got a very, very good team potentially, I think, and so I'm looking forward to getting them together for the games against Bulgaria and Finland, and then getting ready for the first game. I'm glad Slovakia is the first game in October, and now that's on the Thursday as opposed to the Wednesday, gives us an extra day, which I'm pleased about, because that's massive in our preparations. If you're only getting players in the Sunday and they might have played, the fact that we're flying on the Tuesday and that game is back to the Thursday, which is great, and so we'll make sure we're ready.
You've spoken before about how pleased you are with the resources you have defensively in particular, and when you go through them, that they're a match for pretty much most teams in Europe right now, and the form they're in, the likes of John Egan, Seamus Coleman, the way he's emerged since the restart, and Matt Doherty consistently brilliant over the last 18 months. Doherty was saying he still feels it's either himself or Coleman. Have you sort of something set in your mind around that, or is it still too early to say?
No, it is too early to say, and I think and right backs is a position where we're doing quite well in, because actually Cyrus Christie scored a great goal for Fulham last week from outside the box, put it in the top corner, and he's actually been playing really well for Fulham recently as well. To be honest, I'm very, very impressed with. He hasn't played every match for Fulham because they rotate, but he's been very good. Seamus is just a brilliant captain, and has been a brilliant servant for Ireland. Matt, like John Egan, like, we have the situation where Matt is 28 and John Egan 28 now, and they've only played twice. John's only played twice for Ireland, and or 3 times, 2.5 matches. And Matt's played 3 competitive games for Ireland, and yet they've been playing at the top end of the Premier League, and they, very, very, good players. So they've been very underutilised by Ireland, and we're waiting late in their careers to appreciate them. So I rate the 2 of them very highly.
Every time we see your name, you seem to have a new role and an expanded role within the FAI. Now it looks as though you're going to be on the FAI's executive.
No, to be honest, there's no change in position. I think on the manager of the team, that's all I ever wanted to be. That's all I ever wanted to do. I think the difference is that we're working here, we live in Ireland, we're working closely with the managers, Jim Crawford, under 21 manager, Tom Mohan, 19s, Andy Reid, 18s, Colin O'Brien, Paul Ozam and Jason Donoghue, all the international managers work together. We have we have certainly we're meeting today actually on Teams today again, so we're meeting regularly, establishing a style of play that we want to formulate right throughout the teams, and I think there's been a lot of good work done before I was appointed. Good work done before I was appointed, and I think we're with Dr. Technical Director and all of the coaches, and I think we want to formulate a team that gives a platform for us. We haven't had players like, believe it or not, Nathan, with Jeff Hendrick and Robbie Brady are 28 now, right? Now, apart from Alan Brown, who came from Cork City, and Shani Maguire played in Gibraltar, right? Apart from those two Cork City lads that have played once and twice in terms of starts, competitive games, the next player from the 28-year-olds is Aaron Connolly at 19.
Yeah.
So we've 9 years of no players actually making the breakthrough. 9 players out player coming through. So all of a sudden we've got all these players now that all the underage managers have been working with, and all of the clubs throughout the country have been working, and we have these players who I feel over the next few years are ready to come through, and we want to change that. Every year we want to have a production line, but we want to have a number of players who are capable of stepping up, and that's a lot of factors contribute to that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not just as simple of, you know, some years obviously have better players than others, you know, depending on we're a small country, you know. I know when you got, you know, in comparison, but it's something that we can't ignore.
And I think everyone would agree it's a real step forward that the international manager has such an influence on football throughout the country. But
I have a strong voice, and
but there's the other side of it as well, that if you are on the executive, and we know that the struggles the FAI are within.
I'm not. My position hasn't changed. I don't want to be a director, and I've no desire to be a director. I don't want a title.
Because the concern would be that every other previous manager has been judged on results of the senior team. That you may be distracted by cuts that are coming in the FAI.
No, I'm not. I'm like the way Gary Owens spoke to me, chief executive. I'm not a director of the FAI. I've no desire to be. I just want to be. I ever wanted to be the manager, but I have a strong voice. I've articulated that strong voice since I've been in as under-21 manager on all football issues, and there's a seat at the table for me to articulate that voice if necessary. But he doesn't want me getting bogged down in meetings about budgets and so forth in relation to various different departments, and I don't intend doing that. But there's a vacant seat there that I can step in and voice my opinion on major football issues, because we want football to be at the centre of the FAI. We have a new video analysis room coming in here. We never had one in the FAI, right? Okay, so me, Keith, Damien, we'll be here working from the FAI when we're not in the UK and other countries, looking at players. We'll be here. This is the send. This should be this. The FAI should be about the international teams, the national league teams, schoolboy football throughout the country, and the amateur game. And football should be at the centre of the FAI, and that's the way I feel about it. And all the other departments should supplement that, not sort of a fragmented set of departments in an organisation. It should be every other department should support the key football areas, and I'll be strong in terms of the international teams at all levels. You know, we've had a period of austerity with the teams over the years where managers haven't been able to prepare the teams the way they would have wanted. What do you get from that? You get 8 years of non-players coming through. That's what you get. And I think or 9 years or whatever. So I think I'll make sure, you know, Ruud Doctor's the technical director. It's his area to appoint managers. He's made great appointments, and I'm here to. It's a collaborative approach, you know, and I think we'll work together in terms of trying to ensure that all of the managers get to be able to prepare the teams in the way that they need to.
Finally, you mentioned a strong footballing voice in the room. I know in your previous role with Dundalk, if there was what's going on in the League of Ireland was happening, you would have had a very strong voice and very strong thoughts on it. What have you made of what's gone on with the League of Ireland over the last few weeks and the constant discussions, and well, it seems finally a sign of a return to football?
Yeah, no, it must be very tough for all of the coaches and the players and the managers, coaches and players and supporters. I think it's very tough time, and we must remember, like, you know, over 1,700 people died in this crisis. But I think you know, you would have wanted, you know, for the players, you just want to see them back playing competitive matches. It is the highest standard of football in this country. I think it's you know, we want a vibrant league. Obviously it's a shortened league this year. It's one that I'm just looking forward to seeing players back on the pitch. I think you know, the 4 teams, Keith Long, for example, Bohemians, he's going into Europe, bringing Bohemians for the first time in many years. They're going in. Shamrock Rovers and Dundalk, Vinnie Perth, first year in Europe last year as a manager, want to build on that. Stephen Bradley, first, you know, in Europe last year, looking to benefit from that experience going again. Declan Devine, first year, and there you've been in a couple of years, and he'll be back going in Europe again, and all of the players will be really looking forward to that. I think some of the players would have had tough times because they would have had their wages cut. Some of the clubs, they've been sort of struggling, I'm sure, with the current situation. So for them to get back and back to normality and playing is great news.
Yeah, great stuff, Stephen.
Thanks, Dan.